This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review, and I am ready to take a look at your MLB overnight lines for the games on Tuesday, July the 5th. As you can tell, I'm recording this on Independence Day, so here is my American flag t-shirt that I decided to wear today. Let's get down to business now. We've got games to look at for Tuesday, July the 5th. Let's take a look at the game between the Washington Nationals and Milwaukee Brewers. And hey, how about that big call we had on Milwaukee as a big underdog on Monday, July 4th? Junior Guerra pitching another phenomenal game for the Brewers, leading them to a 1-0 victory early in the day on Monday. Fantastic. Hope some of you were able to cash in with the Brewers at that big underdog price. Over plus 200 they were in that game. I'm not sure I'm ready to go on the Brewers again here in this one with Zach Davies on the mound, but I am interested in this game from a betting perspective once again, and I'm going to look at the total this time around here in this game on Tuesday between the Brewers and Nationals. Zach Davies, I stuck by my belief that he was getting a little bit fortunate when he was going on this nice little roll he had a few starts back, but two starts in a row since then. He's labored significantly. Faced this Washington team last month, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits in 5 innings. Not a great start. And then his last outing against the Dodgers, he was hit even harder. 6 runs on 8 hits in just 4.1 innings. And I think a second look for this Washington lineup against Zach Davies, second time they're going to be facing him in a short period of time. I think they're going to have a good plate approach, much better success, much better swings against Zach Davies this time around. However, I don't trust Gio Gonzalez on the flip side here for the Washington Nationals. The Washington lefty just continues to get hit hard repeatedly. He's allowed 16 runs on 20 hits in his last 14.1 innings. That's not very good. And he's been hammered by Milwaukee repeatedly in the past. At Miller Park a couple weeks ago, he only lasted 3 innings, allowed 6 runs. Last year here at Nationals Park when facing Milwaukee, wasn't very good in that start either, allowing 5 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings. Both of those Gonzalez starts against Milwaukee, they sailed up and over the total. And I would expect a similar result here. You can actually find 8 with this total at Heritage Sports, 8.5. Pretty much elsewhere, but either 8, 8.5, either one is fine with me. I'd still look to this game up and over the total between these two teams. It also should be a warm night in Washington on Tuesday, so the ball should carry a bit more. We'll look for runs between the Brewers and Nationals. Look for something a little bit different than the 1-0 game that these two teams had on Monday, so we'll play that one over the total, Brewers-Nationals Tuesday night. The Baltimore Orioles and the LA Dodgers in an interesting interleague matchup Tuesday, July 5th. Chris Tillman has had a very strong season. Early in the season, he was a very strong bet-on pitcher for me. We cashed in a few times on these videos supporting Tillman, but he's hit a few bumps in the road, and there were some advanced metrics, a few starts ago that indicated that while Tillman's been pitching well, he's probably due to regress at least a little bit, and we have seen signs of that for sure from Tillman. He's given up 14 runs on 21 hits in his last 14.2 innings over 3 straight starts. Tillman facing the Dodgers here for the first time in his career, which is actually usually a benefit for the pitcher. But that declining current form is a little bit of a worry, a little bit of a red flag for me with Chris Tillman. So it might be tricky for him to navigate through this Dodgers lineup, even though they may not have familiarity with him. Dodgers have been on the uptick offensively. They've scored 4 or more runs in 6 of their last 7 games. So starting to be a little bit a little bit better as a team at the plate. Adrian Gonzalez has been hitting well as of late. Trace Thompson, Klay Thompson's brother, fantastic. I mean, he just keeps on moving up that Dodgers lineup as he continues to hit well, so not a surprise there. So the Dodgers hitting a little bit better. They may have some success here against Tillman, who definitely has struggled in his last couple outings. Kenta Maeda's numbers for the season are very steady, very strong, but to me, he's been good, but he's also been a little bit lucky. And he's also dealt with a very relatively manageable schedule. He's faced a lot of weak lineups and a lot of pitcher-friendly settings. Now you're going to be facing Baltimore and their power-laden, potent lineup, and this is going to be one of the toughest challenges of the season, I think, for the Japanese hurler, Kenta Maeda. And let's also keep in mind that a home run ball has been an issue for him at times. That most of a lot of his hits have been hard contact, extra base hits, home runs, that kind of deal. And he has allowed 3 home runs in 2 of his last 3 starts. Not the optimal thing you want to see from a starting pitcher facing Baltimore, a home run hitting team to the max, without a doubt. So, Maeda could be in trouble here a little bit, I think. I think it's a troublesome matchup for him. And let's keep in mind, too, he's rarely pitched more than 6 innings this season. He's not an innings eater. And that LA Dodgers bullpen, especially in the middle relief part of that pen, they can be had. They're not exactly a shutdown unit in the middle relief area of that bullpen. So Baltimore, I think, could have an edge late in the game. They do possess a better bullpen, a little bit deeper of a bullpen as well. So I'm going to look at this game as a result attack it from two different avenues. I'm going to look at the side. I'm going to look at Baltimore plus 138 as an underdog. They're still, a great team. 13 games above 500. Just don't know if they deserve to be getting that hefty of an underdog price. I think the Dodgers deserve to be favored slightly here, but not to the extent that they are, because I am worried that this is not a great matchup for Maeda. I think there is value with Baltimore as an underdog here, and I'm also going to look at the over in this game, 7.5. Reasonable total here to work with. Again, the Dodgers likely to see their bullpen. Maeda not a candidate to pitch deep. And I do think Chris Tillman struggles as the last couple starts, something the Dodgers might be able to take advantage of. So I like Baltimore at the underdog price. I think they can pull out the victory. If it's close in the latter stages, I trust their bullpen more than the Dodgers. And I also like this game to go over the total of 7.5. Let's take a look at what else is on the Tuesday slate. Cincinnati and the Cubs, Finnegan and Lackey. Cubs hit lefties pretty hard. And they have hit lefties hard all season, and Finnegan seems to be really hitting a wall at this stage of the season. And speaking of hitting the wall, John Lackey's not exactly been that dominant self that he was early in the season. So there's no total right now with that game at Wrigley Field. Usually the Wrigley Field totals take a while to be released, but it wouldn't surprise me to see some runs scored in that game either. May look at an over in that game between the Reds and Cubs Tuesday afternoon. San Diego and Arizona, I think Friedrich is on the way down. For the San Diego Padres. He's really been roughed up the last few starts. Christian Friedrich, rather. He's really starting to come back down to earth a little bit. And pitching in Arizona, I'm not sure is a very positive matchup for him, a positive expectation matchup for him. A lefty, and Arizona has been better against lefty pitching this season. Unfortunately, on the other hand, you've got Godley for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he's not a guy I exactly trust to get outs in this particular starting. Very inconsistent. He's had some good outings. He's had some bad outings. There's another game that over the total kind of stands out with the total of 9.5 in that particular game. I was looking at Cleveland, Carrasco over Zimmerman, but minus 160, not much value there. I think Cleveland wins, but I'm not rushing to lay that price with the Indians, even though they should have the edge with Carrasco on the mound over Zimmerman. You've got Odorizzi against Lincecum. Again, I'd like to bet against Lincecum right now. I think he's sort of not got staying power from what I've seen for this Angels rotation. He doesn't look like a guy that's got the stuff to maintain his spot in this Angels rotation long term. But again, I'm not laying minus 150 with Tampa Bay. Just another example of how July, August, and September baseball really pisses the hell out of me sometimes. You want to bet against these pitchers, but it's so well accounted for in the betting markets that it's in the price that you just have to, throw up your hands and say, hey, it's a well-priced game. I've got to leave it alone, and that's what I'm going to do there. How about Boston? David Price against A.J. Griffin. David Price against the Texas Rangers alert. When's the last time Price has pitched well against Texas? He's had postseason nightmares against Texas. He didn't pitch well against Texas with the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League Division Series last year. He got roughed up by Texas just recently. Terrible outing for David Price facing Texas. 6 runs on 12 hits in just 2.1 innings just a couple of weeks ago in Arlington. Do not trust David Price at all against the Texas Rangers. Not a very good track record against that team. If anything there, I play Texas at the underdog price. A.J. Griffin actually, has been serviceable, this season. I mean, he's made one start or a couple in his last couple of starts. He's really been solid. I mean, since he returned from the DL June 25th, 2 runs against Boston, 1 run against the New York Yankees. So, A.J. Griffin's been serviceable. So Texas might be live at that underdog price on Tuesday night, plus 150, plus 160. I would not lay that price with David Price, that is for sure. Not with his track record against the Texas Rangers. All right, other than that, I've pretty much covered all the games that kind of piqued my interest. That will wrap things up for my look at MLB overnight lines for the games on Tuesday, July the 5th. I'm sports handicapper Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. As always, check out sportsbookreview.com each day for the latest in quality sports betting information, live odds, daily articles, and videos. It's all there.
Always on the go? Bet365 has one of the top mobile platforms in today's market. Sign up today and don't let your busy life keep you out of the game.